For those that know me well enough, and even those who just see my content here and there and don't know me well enough, I was clearly going to return to do a lot more music content, and I'm specifically focusing on this week from Tuesday, June 9th, which is today now, coming into the new day, through next Tuesday, June 16th. These are some shows I want to highlight. I'm not necessarily going to all of them. I don't think I can mentally equip going to all of these, but these are some artists on tour and some other shows and things that you might want to check out, just based on my feeling, based on a wide range of genres and things that I think some of you might dig out there based on for fans of. We have Tuesday, June 9th at Neighborhood Theater, Hudson Freeman, who is a very viral folk artist who has been chugging along with touring for a little bit on a co-headline with a UK group, Lots of Hands, with opening support from Tori Wettinger. I don't think I'm going to be at this show, but if you're really into the indie scene, if I didn't have a damn thing to do this week, I'd probably go because it's a stone's throw from where I live. For fans of Alex G, Way Dynamic, Greg Freeman, Dove Ellis, Dutch Interior, and Racing Mount Pleasant. Wednesday, June 10th at Snug Harbor, we have Vinyl Williams joined by Hot MT and local artists from Charlotte, York. Really, Vinyl Williams is a long-standing Los Angeles artist creating psychedelic pop and dream pop. Really a musician and songwriter for about 20 years, and he creates this whole world of maximalist 3D art. The visuals for this show should be pretty crazy, whatever they have in that backdrop over there at Snug Harbor. His albums, from what I understand, have interactive worlds in there. He just dropped his 10th studio album, you can imagine, in 20 years. That's a lot of songwriting. Really very lush, soundscapes, as well as instrumentation and vocals that are hypnotic in a sense and dreamy within the atmosphere that he's creating. He definitely draws influence from Unknown Mortar Orchestra and Tori Moi out of the larger artists, but I would say this is for fans of Triptides, Holy Wave, The Holy Drug Couple, Gum, Dumbo Gets Mad, and Melodies Echo Chamber. Thursday, June 11th at the Fillmore, we have Freddie Gibbs joined by Geordie Greep. Freddie Gibbs, really, I'm just scratching the surface with myself. I'm getting back into the world of hip hop and rap. He's been long time known for some technical proficiencies and provocative lyrics as a rapper in gangster rap and underground hip hop. And he's collaborated with about everybody you could think of over the years, been nominated for a Grammy and recently won a Grammy for a contribution to another artist. He's a character online from everything that I read. He's out of Gary, Indiana, and some of his earliest music is talking about the demise of Gary, Indiana, and how he has contributed to that as a drug dealer in his time. And really, his story is far stretching and is going to continue to win the hearts of a lot of people, the younger generation, and to those that have been around with him for a very long time within this millennium. While Freddie Gibbs is very accredited in his own right, I got caught attention of Geordie Greep opening for him, one of my favorite musicians over the last few years or so. He and several others out of the UK, they went to classical music school. They're classically trained musicians. He's in former UK post-punk band Black Midi. Those who are deep in the indie scene are very well Black Midi, and probably Geordie Greep's debut record from a couple years ago, The New Sound, which was my favorite record of 2024. It's just, I don't really know how to describe it other than it's chaos, and the dude has a voice that should be on Broadway. He is a very polarizing performer, but some of the most insane instrumentation I've seen come from his band and himself, really outside of King Gizzard. I think this is a set and a debut in Charlotte that must not be missed. On Friday, June 12th at the Music Yard, we have Stacey Pullen, who is a longtime innovator of Technø and considered in the second wave of Detroit Technø, where he grew under mentorship of Detroit's legendary Derek May, Juan Adkins, and Kevin Saunderson. he's really been playing music since the 90s. And if you really want some of that deep cut Detroit techno sound and beyond, where he moved to Europe and he's been influenced beyond that, I would just say if you want a classic artist that doesn't come around extremely often, then go check out the Music Yard. Also on Friday, June 12th at Amos's Southend, we have Def Andrews, Owen and the Smokes, and Woody. All three bands really in the indie alternative scene here in North Carolina. Def Andrews hailing here out of Charlotte. They have released music you can go check out. This is likely going to be their last live show for a little while, as one of their band members is leaving. They're figuring that one out. Shout out Mike. Hung out with him a couple weeks ago at the Bad Cameo show. And after Owen the Smokes, I'm not so familiar with. They're hailing out of the Winston-Salem area. Looks like they have some music themselves. They've been touring in North Carolina and maybe beyond. And then Woody, who I've seen several times. Shout out to John, who is the lead singer and songwriter of that group. And they all have their distinct sound and good musicianship out of North Carolina. If you want a good local show and homegrown venue that has been, in North Carolina standing for a long time, definitely go check out that show and tell me what you think. Also on Friday, June 12th at McHale's Pub in Noda, we have a watch party for the USA first game of the World Cup. And on the ones and twos, we have my homies Tyler, Davidson, and Seemerc. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be shooting the crack, not like the crack you think of, but the Irish crack, splitting the G, doing all that. There's gonna be Michelob Ultra installation. I'm gonna imagine it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, if you just want some vibes, sports, and good house music, show up there. On Saturday, June 13th at Black Box Theater, we have Kloud, who is a hard techno and electronic producer who plays really his own original productions and no one else's. His debut Black Box Charlotte show last year was one of the most insane performances that I've seen, not only at Black Box, probably ever at Black Box, and potentially ever in Charlotte. I really just can't emphasize enough the production that was brought in for this. It's definitely not lackluster in this territory at all. This guy's going to continue to rise to the top. He draws inspiration from analog synthesizers and the raw sounds of the 90s. It's just one of those shows that if you miss a House or Techno Vibrations event, whether it's local or an artist that we're bringing in and you're into techno, this is one that can't be missed if you don't have a damn thing to do on Saturday. On Sunday, June 14th, at Novelty House, we have the House Vibrations local pop-up, which would consist of Johnny Allcaps, the man himself, Mr. Lex Longa, and Mr. Mike Bro, and they are joined by Maya Wang and Lee, who I believe are making their House Vibrations debut. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Maya Wang seems to be out of the Columbia area and has been playing a lot of shows, and then Lee, I believe, has at least one other show this weekend and hails out of the RDU area. Always free, always a great time on the Novelty House rooftop. Go check them out. Also on Sunday, June 14th, we have Wednesday joined by Tombstone Poetry at the Underground at the Fillmore here in Charlotte. Tombstone Poetry is a songwriting project of Asheville musician Kaylin Burris, formed in 2021. They've done a lot of local shows and DIY touring, and they're doing a short stint here with Wednesday at some dates. Their sounds and elements are around alt country, noise rock, and influence from 90s indie rock. Definitely have heard good things. I was supposed to see them at Barrel Beer Co.'s Burn Pile event and just missed out on their set. Joined by the great Wednesday, who is probably the best artist in North Carolina to me at this point, between alt country and sounds that verge hardcore, some of the most sincere and graphic songwriting to euphemisms of North Carolina that I've heard, especially on the release last year from Bleeds. I can't recommend this show enough if you're a fan of Wednesday. The show is on resale. It's like $71. You can tell me how you feel about that, but yeah, it sold out very quickly. They're extremely popular. They played Coachella. They're going to be coming off Bonnaroo. They've been touring all over the world. They come up out of the Asheville, and North Carolina grassroots scene. Could not recommend these musicians enough to check out their music. If you can't make the show, so be it, but I'll be there. On Monday, June 15th in Charleston, South Carolina at the Music Farm, we have Turnover, Narrowhead, and She's Green. Turnover is one of my favorite bands of all time. They've had an interesting metamorphosis of their sound over the last 10 to 15 years, and I would say their latest record, Down on Earth, it revisits some of their past records, but they're mostly an indie alternative band, and they bleed elements of shoegaze and emo into that. I've grown with them as a band more than pretty much anyone else, and seeing them last year on the tour, the 10th anniversary for their most iconic record, Peripheral Vision, kind of brought me back into my love for them. Live was my favorite performance ever seeing them, and I was like, I gotta catch this tour. They'll be coming straight off Bonnaroo. Narrowhead, who's going to be their direct support, is a long-standing Texas hardcore powerhouse. They really not extremely traditional hardcore, but they bleed elements of fuzz and reverb and a ton of riffage in their music. I've enjoyed listening to them. I'm really just scratching the surface a little bit more. Looking forward to seeing them live. And the opener, She's Green, is a Minneapolis-based band that plays shoegaze, dream pop, indie rock. They describe their music as airy and thematic and nature-themed, as in moss music. Their lead singer is a female, as far as I'm aware, and she definitely is bringing some breathy vocals with lush, heavy, distorted guitar behind that as well. Really looking forward to that show on Monday, and maybe catching up with some Charleston folk. If y'all are down there and don't have anything to do on Monday, come hang out. And on Tuesday, June 16th, back here in Charlotte at the True Lion Amphitheater, aka PNC Pavilion, we have Rufus Du Sol with direct support by Fuckers. I've kind of vocalized how I feel about Rufus, and I've seen them enough times live now to where I'm okay. I can do without them. I understand they put on a good live show. I understand a lot of you really love their music. Clearly through this video, I explore a lot of different music, and I can take them or leave them, but Fuckers, really enjoying their new record. If you guys haven't tapped into that, I would highly recommend you should. I wish I could just see them on a headliner here, but maybe I'll bite the $35 lawn ticket, or if any of you guys have an extra lawn ticket out there, let me know. I may come out to that show, but I might be spent mentally and physically and monetarily. So you may see me there, you may not. I know it's going to be a good live show, a good time at the Big Amp.